April the 22nd, 2024. Here I am having a nice bit of tikka. You didn't get to see the tikka, nor did you get to see the coffee. So it was a brief segment of me in the airport now on the back of a Joyride, which is an app that they use up in Manila. This is a man by the name of Martin. Martin's putting himself through college, fair play to him. I am his third ride of the evening. He's already made 600 pesos, so Martin is in a good mood. He's studying business management. He's in his second, maybe it was his third year. He's driving me to the Z Hospital. Not named after the Russian occupation of the Ukraine, but possibly after the movie starring Brad Pitt. Produced in, where was it? Z movie produced again? Who feckin' knows, right? Look at that. Nighttime cruising in Manila. Beautiful skyscrapers. Not a care in the world. So, I'm going to take a little walk around the city. And while I walk around the city, I'm going to regale you with the antics of this particular Irishman and what's going on in my head. The connection between the internal world, where emotions such as anger, resentment, and shame seem to be the predominant emotions that hold court, right? The connections between them, inner world, and then the exterior world, where we as humans living in 2024, we try so hard to create a personal image that's sustainable, wondering what it is that other people think about us, what it is that we could have that would alter our feelings as we navigate this entirely upside down planet we live in. So the connection between the interior world and the exterior world these days is primarily one displayed through the phone. The bloody phone you have in your pocket, man. You don't need heroin, crack, or cocaine these days. Every time you reach for your phone, every time you pick up your phone, your brain, which is essentially the modern day version of a drug dealer, sells you healthy doses of dopamine and serotonin, and you get high as a kite. And so your feelings of anger, shame, and resentment, which simmer away in this volcanic world within you, it's very easy to ignore because you no longer have to worry about those kind of emotions. You are not communicating with the outside world in a face-to-face manner, where your daily activity involves many close encounters and little micro interactions are integral to your sense of peace of mind. No, that connection is premised on the digital world that you create, the social media sphere, in the WhatsApp groups you participate in, and for me, the recovery groups that I go into. So the personal image that I work hard on, it's actually not really that hard of a job, to be honest, because I don't care. I don't care so much what other people think. I met a Canadian yesterday at breakfast time who is a YouTuber and therefore full of enthusiasm. And as we spoke over bread and boiled eggs with a side order of coffee about what it is that is required of us as functional, healthy humans living in 2024, particularly our digital nomads. You know, we were in essence managing our own mental states, right? Like a lot of people would wake up and go in for a morning meeting in a business room environment, wearing the suits and boots, and then talk together about how to make maximum profit for a company that only exists hypothetically, doesn't exist in the real world, basically a fiction. Whereas me and this YouTuber were sat in a hospital surrounded by other tourists and digital nomads and spoke about how the different things that we do to try and stay in a positive state of mind. And I noticed I fed off his energy and he fed off mine. And then today over coffee, the same thing happened again. I met a woman by the name of Tanya, and she is a therapist from Canada, Vancouver. We've spent some time in Toronto. I told her that I was recovering from a narcissist empath relationship, and I've only recently began to figure out how I have to fight tooth and nail for my own right to be happy. She invited me out to the poolside station that she had, where she was in the middle of her morning routine. And in between our discussion about what it takes to be in a relationship, particularly what it takes to be in and end a relationship with a narcissist, she told me about her life in Bali. Well, it was difficult for her to get a word in edgeways, because once I start off on my little rant about what it takes to be a healthy individual, in other words, what it takes to walk away from an unhealthy relationship, she couldn't get a word in edgeways. So she had left Bali and she had left Canada in a situation where, like many people in the West, it had become too expensive. You know, once your rent is a larger share of your salary, let's say 30 or 40%, if you find yourself renting even a studio, or God forbid, a house share, and it's costing you an arm and a leg, then relocating is only a natural idea to grasp onto. And I'd say, like most people, you know, for her, she would have heard other people doing just the same thing. So she went to Bali, she got up, she was first stayed at somebody's house, in his apartment, and now she's trying to figure out how we should do this more long term. We were talking about working off a laptop, digital nomadism, what it takes to be a digital nomad. And then she said that she was flying off and she departed. I have just walked out of that hostel and I'm standing on a footbridge between one shopping mall and another. It seems that there's quite a lot of shopping malls here in Kuala Lumpur. So I'm having a little moment. I'm talking into my little magic box, so that a version of me in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, or God forbid 20 years' time, if I'm still alive, can listen back to the inner thoughts of the 2024 version of me. What was I thinking? What was I doing as I navigated the new ground that I had created after my relationship with Kay? Hopefully I will stay single for quite a while. Hopefully I will be in another healthy relationship. But for now, I'm just focused on the here and now. So I take a deep breath. I wish you peace. I wish you health. I wish you happiness. I wish you peace. I wish you health. I wish you happiness.